I'm Mark Minasi. For the last 26 years, I've been writing books, teaching classes, doing seminars, trying to change computer policy in the US when I can, and just make things easier for people. The thing about the computer business is that you get something new and you immediately feel like, oh God, I'm dumb again. And we should have the ability to be comfortable with our jobs. I try to make people do that. I am here for Paranoia 2010. Been in Norway a number of times. This has been a really fun show. I've not been to Paranoia before, but you guys have got an amazing lineup. It's just bang, 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 like huge names, and then me, you know? So it's a whole bunch of security folks, and big crowd, and a great location. We're in a comedy club, so I have always wanted to actually do stand-up, and now I've been on a stage at a comedy club.
This is kind of a funny story. So, does anybody remember Vista? I was the only, you heard that somebody liked Vista? That was me, I was the only guy. I was the only guy.
Well, okay, so what I was here to do was to talk about security in Windows 7. I thought, well, let's talk about how Windows 7 and Server 2008 R2 change the game security-wise. There's some good stuff, some bad stuff, mostly good stuff. And so I hit 7 points that I thought were things that folks should know about. There's a lot of technologies that are, it's not so much the Windows part that's interesting. The part is that these are technologies that have been around, but now they're hitting us in the face. For example, I talked about DNSSEC. DNSSEC was RFC'd back in 1997. It's a way to keep people from stealing your website away. It's possible for someone to, go to watchcom.no and spoof your website. They probably wouldn't, because there isn't $1 billion to be made doing it. It'll be banks and financial institutions, but the fact is, DNSSEC's been around for a long time. It's been largely ignored, but a big thing happened in July of 2010. We finally got the root signed, which is that's a geeky phrase of saying it's all starting. And within the next probably 4 months, we're going to see all the infrastructure in place to make that stuff possible. I want to get people interested, to talking about that, to thinking about that. Here's another technology that everybody's trying to avoid, IPv6. Didn't get a chance to talk about it here, but it's a fun one because I think for most of us, we've been saying, can I retire before IPv6 actually happens? And in this case, no, we're not going to have the option to do that because it'll be something we've got to know by the middle of 2011.
In the days of 12-character passwords, if I have to type a password and all I'm getting are stars, asterisks, I can't remember what I typed. I don't know whether I got it. I want to be able to say, listen, there should be a checkbox that says, listen, I'm the only person in the room, let me see what I'm typing. Doesn't that seem fair?
There are billions of things in security in Windows. I picked 7 important ones. Maybe the first one I did about NTLM. The idea is, again, this is a technology that nobody thinks about because they think it's gone, but it isn't. It's an old technology, it's a 90s technology that within the next 5 years will become so simple to crack that if I catch you doing an NTLM authentication across the wire, chances are pretty good, unless you have a really good password, I got enough clues to get your password or at least your hash. That's a bad thing. The reason, now, let's be clear, anyone listening to this has heard of NTLM. They're like, Mark, did you not get the memo? That was a August 1993 protocol. Why? Well, here's the problem. When Active Directory came in, NTLM was supposed to be gone. Because of 4 situations I talked about in my talk, it's possible for even the most up-to-date 08 R2 based Active Directory to fall back to NTLM, thereby exposing a vulnerability. This is not like some of the vulnerabilities. Some of the vulnerabilities that we've seen are where bad guys deliberately try to force your systems to roll back to an earlier protocol. No, this is a case where Windows just does it all by itself in certain edge conditions, which are prevalent enough that I see it in 3 to 7% of networks, 3 to 7% of the logons in large networks around the world. So I thought it was worthwhile talking about it, and in particular, talking about the new Windows technology in R2 and in Windows 7 that makes it easy to sniff this stuff out and then start stomping it.
Would identical twins have the same fingerprints? I hear some yes, hear some no. Well, as it turns out, there are 2 stages to getting fingerprints. The first part, when you're a very small little baby, is genetic. And to that point, you do have identical fingerprints with your identical twin. But once you got those fingers, you start exploring. And when you push your fingers out onto the wrinkled caul, the amniotic sac, the wrinkles off that overlay the wrinkles that are genetically impressed on your finger. And so, no, your twin has somewhat different fingerprints than you do. You know that humans are wired so that you can only learn 2 concepts in an hour. I just wasted one of them, because everyone's going, hey, did you know about fingerprints?
Since this is a security conference, let me talk about hacking, but hacking your brain. It's really interesting. This is a study that came out like in the last 10 years. This is newer than that. This is really new stuff. Laughter makes all the filters go away for a few seconds. Think about it. You know, how many times have you heard, you know, when you ask a woman, what is she looking for in a man, they'll often say, I guess funny. Because, you know, it's not they're looking for it. They realize that in the end analysis, funny guys are more interesting to talk to. They're more likely to get close to them and that sort of thing. And those same sensors are in place when you're sitting in a hall. I mean, you guys have got that great comedy hall and it's wonderful stuff. But the thing is, your brain gets pounded by this stuff. And laughter greases the doors. It greases the doorways to open the doorways up to the brain. Everyone, if you're, you know, they often ask the question, do you need to be funny in public speaking? And the answer is only if you want to be asked back. Seriously, in the security business, we're a little too sour. We're a little too dour. We're a little too, you know, serious all the time. It's okay. It's okay. We can relax and laugh and still get our jobs done.
We got a few minutes left. Let's talk about Windows 8. What do you think? How about one of these things? I'm not announcing anything Microsoft's doing. I'm saying this is what I want. I think reboots annoy me. Do we have any Unix people in the crowd? Do we have any Linux people in the crowd? Any Sun folks, etc.? How often do you reboot those things? I know, it's like, I got friends running Linux servers. I say, you still run that Linux site? Yeah, where's the server? We're not sure. We're looking around for it because it's been 12 years. The dust bunnies are going to catch fire inside the computer at some point, you know? So, I hate reboots. Let me patch. Why do I have to reboot when IE changes? It's a friggin' application. It's like saying, you've modified Word, time to reboot. No, it's not time to reboot. It's an application, okay? If that happens, then you don't know how to write applications.